YouTube? Maybe that's only for Facebook.
Maybe. I think we started streaming. I think we're live.
And yet,
So here, I'll switch over to our streaming message. Yeah,
Good,
we did.
good.
We did already start, actually, but that's fine.
Did it do the music?
No, not yet. I'm not sure if it hears. Oh, it hears us right now, too.
I hope so.
That's cool. I'm going to
I hope we had music. Oh, we're...
Yeah, I'll switch to the music right now. I mean, how did we do it before where we turned off the audio when we had the streaming
Probably
screen?
just muted it. I think you just...
All right, we're back.
We're back after two years.
Yeah, it's been almost completely 2 years. So it was, we did I remember COVID had started in March when we did our last couple weeks of streaming, and that was the end of season 2 Picard. So that would have ended around season 1 Picard. So that would have ended around the end of March.
Right.
And
we did our last few episodes remotely from our apartments because we couldn't be in person.
Yep. And now it's 2 years later.
2 years later, 2022, the new Picard season is going to start up. We wanted to do this. We wanted to stream again. We weren't sure. And suddenly we got a message on Fastbook on Facebook from Mac.
I call it Fastbook.
Hopefully he'll check this video out. He was someone that watched a lot of our videos and interacted with us, which was really cool.
Well, he was our one fan that wasn't a family member.
Wasn't a family member. And it was cool to see, he was kind of like, hey, you guys going to start up the Picard maneuver again and talk about the new show. And we thought, well, now we have to do it. I'm going to cut to this camera. Well, there's my close-up. So unfortunately, the Tim close-up camera isn't set up yet. That wasn't on purpose, Tim, I swear. We'll cut back to this. So that's just a little preview of what we're going to have this season on the Picard maneuver. We have a better kind of camera setup system. We have better mics. We're more of a professional podcast, if you could say. Although saying that, and then you can see on this camera, there's the white box in the middle with the histogram or the video scopes at the bottom. That will be gone. So we just set up today for the first time, and
this is really just a test.
Yeah, we should have.
If you haven't inferred that by
us being
our intro so far.
Yeah. So this is just kind of testing, letting everyone know that we're coming back. We're going to do the Picard maneuver. We're going to be looking at the new episodes. We may even, I think you said you didn't really want to go review the first season again, just move on to the next season.
Well, I think the story's moved on, and so I think we probably want to focus on the new season as far as looking back too much. I mean, I don't know if we want to review some characters or where we want to
do a brief kind of this is what happened, but real brief, and then we'll just move on. Actually, speaking of brief, we had a series last time called the Ready Room Brief.
Oh yeah,
we'll have to bring that back too. Maybe some new stuff. We'll come up with some new ideas. Like cutting away to close-ups when we say things.
Yeah, we'll have more cuts.
A lot more cuts. Hopefully not from shaving,
we'll
which is something I haven't been doing a lot of. That's another difference is my beard is fully white now. That's what going through a global pandemic will do to you. Did you have a beard before? Off and on, maybe.
Yeah, I think about the same as now.
Yeah. We were discussing how I look 10 years older and Tim looks younger somehow. It's a blow to my ego.
No, it's also because I'm shaved.
I don't know. I think it's the blood you drink.
The blood of babies?
Yeah. So what else can we tell folks? What day are we doing this? Do we know? Did we decide when we'll be doing this?
Well, I think we'll want to do it Thursday nights, right? After when the
Is
show.
that what we did? Oh yeah.
When because the show comes on Thursday. We're in Canada, so we watch it on Crave. But I think we'll get it Thursday mornings, like last season. We don't get Discovery on Crave until like Friday nights.
Yeah, it's a later.
It should be on
delayed.
Thursday mornings, but we're like 2 days behind everyone else in the world for watching Discovery, which is annoying and would be a really annoying thing if we want to do a podcast about it.
Which we may do at some point. Actually, when we talked too about maybe reviewing more than just Star Trek too. I mean, mostly, but there's a couple other shows that we might talk about at some point. If we have the time, maybe we would do that on a different night of the week or something.
I'd be open to that. And there's also obviously a lot more Star Trek that's happened in the last 2 years.
Decks.
And a lot more Star Trek that's coming. We got Strange New Worlds also coming. We got new seasons of other things coming. There's a lot of different Star Trek that is out there. And I'm currently up to date with all Star Treks.
Son of a gun, I am not. I have to.
But there's a lot. There's a lot to cover.
Yeah, well, we'll focus on Picard for now because that's how we kind of started. And I mean, I still fairly well remember the first season. I want to kind of get updated myself. But like you said, they're kind of moving forward. I know there's some teasers that have come out. I think even like a trailer at this point.
There's been a couple trailers, but a really good trailer that covers a lot of stuff and maybe cool.
We're looking at
we talked about it.
Some appearances by some classic. Well, even the first season had a few of those, but I think it looks like it's not a spoiler to say Q's.
Oh yeah, everyone already knows that for a year.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah. Oh, for a year.
Yeah, okay. It was like New York Comic Con or something when it was announced a year ago.
Right.
So we didn't. But yeah, the trailer, just maybe a quick cover of it. It seems to reference a lot of our favorite episodes of TNG, were the time loop ones.
Yeah. Or
the parallel universe ones. Like and even First Contact and the two most popular movies or two of the most popular movies are our First Contact and Voyage Home, and those seem to be both things that are going on in the trailer, them going back in time and them doing a parallel back in time, and
right.
And we're also seeing the Borg Queen and Q, who have both dealt with time loops before, and Guinan's back, which she had that sort of similar role. It sounds like as in Yesterday's Enterprise, which is another sort of favorite episode. So everything that it referenced, at least in the trailer, it seems to be callbacks to favorites.
Makes sense. I mean, I think that can be good and bad. Sometimes I think the producers are like, we have to make sure people like it, so let's do even more callbacks. But if it's done well, I'm happy about it, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. My biggest thing, maybe if we want to do a quick, expectations / hopes.
Let's do it.
Real quick. Okay, throw it on the screen. Hopes and expectations. I'm just kidding. We have nothing.
I can do the intro again.
No. Oh, no. But I was going to say, for me, the biggest thing I would like to see that would make me happy in the season is Picard being a little more Picard. A little stronger. Like, so in the first season, a lot of it kind of was like, oh, he's kind of sick, or he's not well, or he's kind of not confident, or he doesn't feel like himself. He just always seemed hesitant the whole first season. And the thing that I've always loved about Picard is how sure of himself he is, but not in a way where he seems cocky or oversure of himself. He just was very well spoken, could always kind of
you never questioned it.
Yeah, and he was very good at articulating some really awesome. Obviously, it was the writers doing this. I know, so we got to rely on them to do that, to kind of bring his voice back, I guess, where he would have definitive speeches that would kind of really encompass the idea of the episode, and then tie it all up in a way where you'd be like, yeah, Picard. And I remember even last time we did the show and we talked about this, we both were like, one of our things we both wanted for season 1 was to have one of those famous kind of Picard speeches. And I don't think really we ever had one.
Not the same way. I was watching a little bit of season 1 recently, just in sort of anticipation, and I remember thinking that his dialogue was on point. Like, he always talked like Picard should talk. Like, I think Patrick Stewart, he definitely was Picard, but you were right about his character being a lot sort of. It was, or at least originally, it seemed like it set up Picard would be as a neo-noir hero who wasn't sure about anything that was going on. So he was searching for something, and
Which is fine. Like I
which
think
is
that made
fine, but it
sense.
didn't. I don't know if they followed through with it very well or didn't fully make sense for the character. So a little more confidence.
Yeah, and I was just hoping, like, I understood the beginning of that season being like, okay, we're starting with a Picard who isn't sure of himself. He's living on his ranch, or his vineyard. He's, a lot has gone on. But I was really hoping that would come kind of full circle, or even midway through the season, where all of a sudden you'd see him just like recognize, I am still Picard. I'm still the same person, even though I've been through a lot, and maybe even stronger because. When someone's been through a lot, sometimes it can build even more resiliency. But I didn't really see that.
His journey wasn't that sort of payoff the same way.
Right,
Instead, he did this thing where he like gradually died and then was reborn.
Yeah, and I'm also I guess that's my main thing. I don't want to like say too much else other than I'm curious how they'll resolve the idea that he's now synthetic life.
We don't really know because at least the trailer.
No, it's still there. Sorry, the camera made a noise.
At least the trailer didn't have much references for any sort of android synthetic stuff going on. It was time jumps, parallel universes, and Q and the Borg Queen. Right.
So we'll see. So what's your? I mean, I kind of said my main kind of hope for season 2. What do you think there?
I would like just to be unexpected and have fun with it. I think we got in the first season. Again, we're just comparing it with the first season, but I thought the first season had parts I liked, parts I didn't like. But in a lot of ways, it didn't really surprise me.
Right.
And because I had anticipated so many particular things, it felt like it was tending to just not live up to what I was hoping in some cases. And that's probably because I was looking very close and looking for particular things. But what it did do didn't surprise me in a way like that changed or blew my mind in a different direction. Right. So I'd like to see some more interesting storytelling to back up the concepts. I think the first season had some great concepts and great sort of philosophy, but they didn't have I'd like to see this season sort of dealing with that. And we've done stuff we've done before. In the first season, we've dealt with synthetics before, and we can sort of rehash those, but maybe in a new, more exciting way. Maybe going back to 2024 is a way to do that.
No, it sounds good. I would concur with your expectations. Hopefully, that was part of what made Star Trek, I think, always enjoyable, was that kind of unexpected. It wasn't, like you said, the concepts were great, the philosophies were great, but it was always how the story that revolved around that would draw you in. It was told well, and it was told in a way that like felt new and believable. And
if you look back at, like I was saying, the trailer seemed to be referencing a lot of our favorites. My favorite TNG episodes were always the time loop ones. The sort of time again, the one where the ship was being destroyed, or over and over again, or there was some sort of mystery that they needed to solve they didn't know who they were, so I had to figure that out. Like I love those sort of
and the moral dilemmas too were always
time loop, and moral dilemma ones, and those were always great Picard episodes too.
Yes, and often involved data, and sometimes it's synthetic life. But some of the classic Star Trek had almost a bit of a Twilight Zone feel, where it was like they'd be thrown into a situation, a spatial anomaly that would all of a sudden create some kind of dilemma, where then by the end of the episode, they'd figure it out. Geordi or Data would reset something with a deflector dish, and it would be solved by the end. But yes, it can evolve, and yes, Star Trek now is kind of, it's not so much that almost soap opera vibe. Not to say that was, but like the original Star Treks, like TNG, which is my favorite, just revolved around like kind of one place, and everyone kind of did stuff, and it was about their relationships. Whereas they've gone almost more cinematic, where the show is almost more like mini movies, which is cool again. But sometimes I miss that little microcosm of like being on the ship and getting to know the crew and what their lives involve, and seeing them on the holodeck playing, I don't know, was it Parisi Squares?
Parisi Squares? Do we ever actually see Parisi Squares?
No,
we saw them in the uniform.
We see the tennis one.
Oh, the ultimate evolution of martial arts.
That one, yeah. But I just remember like people would come to Crusher, and they'd have an injury, and she'd be like, Parisi Squares again?
Yeah, either that or O'Brien's kayaking.
Yeah. So those things were, I don't know, I love that. That made the show endearing to me, that like, yes, they'd be like fighting some alien race or trying to discover what was happening or figure out something. But often an episode would also be like, it's Worf's birthday.
That's something that TNG really had that in general, a lot of new Trek or new types of dramas don't have at all, is that TNG would have time to just spend time with a character just hanging out in 10 Forward and just talking a little bit.
Right.
Which is something that we really like about TNG, and it's so like familiar and just relaxing about TNG.
Yeah, no,
such
exactly.
A relaxing, slow show, and that
doesn't always have to be one dramatic moment to the next.
Yeah, no, the same sort of rhythm beat. With TNG, you'd see a character walk into a room, and Riker do a funny sit, and then they'd like just talk about something for a little bit that would be relevant to the B plot or whatever. But
often they were simple. One of my favorites is the end of the episode where Data is trying to understand the concept of time passing at different speeds when you're not paying attention. So he talks about the tea kettle analogy. And then at the end of that episode, so it's just a moment at the end of the episode where Riker comes into his quarters and they're just having a talk, and he's frustrated because Data's saying, I don't get it. Like, every time I boil this tea kettle, it boils at exactly this time. And Riker says, well, maybe eventually, or was that, maybe it wasn't Riker talking to him.
No, it was Riker.
Was it Riker? Okay. Yeah, and then in the end of the episode, he says, well, I don't know what they conclude. But as Riker's leaving, the tea kettle boils. And
Riker suggests, like, turn off your internal chronometer. And he's like,
Never thought of that. Yeah. But then even beyond that, so yes, he probably is going to do that. But in that moment, as Riker leaves, the tea kettle boils. And Data gives it this look like, wait, let me cut to this one. Data gives it this look like. No, that's probably not a good Data look. But anyway, a look as if to say,
we have our cups, but we didn't.
We didn't do the tea thing. This is
we'll figure that out.
This is a test.
But I think that was time squared.
The whole audio.
Oh yeah, we got to keep our eye on that.
I got to be careful with that. So we'll watch it back after. But time squared.
With the Romulans. But yeah, and that's I guess maybe a final thought that would be really interesting to talk about is this. What role is Q? Because we've seen a few different types of Q. Is Q kind of like the version, the one where they showed the parallel Picard if he'd made different decisions as an infant, I guess. As a youth. Yeah, as a youth, which was a fantastic episode.
Yes.
And it seemed like Picard, it seemed like Q in that episode was actually like helping him, right? And then he kind of seemed like he was helping him in the last couple of they
had a weird relationship with Q. It was always like Q was mischievous, but Picard and Q had this like mutual respect.
Q definitely was obsessed with Picard. I don't know. I think Picard got a sense.
Just like Oksana Troy.
No,
a lot of people obsessed. I mean, I would have been, if I was a godlike character, I would have definitely tracked down the Enterprise and be obsessed with Picard. That's just, I don't know how you wouldn't be. But yeah, I'm wondering, and I think that's what you're kind of posing is, what will their relationship in this season be like? Will it be reminiscent of those things, or will there be some kind of something new they're exploring? Is he going to be like explaining how the Q is also older? Will he say, I wanted to experience what it feels like to be aging, so I'm going to age along with you, Picard?
Obviously his body isn't his body, except for that one episode where he was turned into a human. Well, that's a good question. I definitely don't think Q's going to be a villain. And I don't think the Borg Queen is going to be the main villain either. Right. I don't think she's going to be the cause of this time dilemma that we have. And I'm not even sure how big of the time dilemma, if that's the main sort of drama arc or that's going to be resolved, or because I also got a sense it might be a little bit more episodic this season too, so there might be some other stories going on, and maybe this is something that comes in for the last few episodes. I don't know, but for some reason I don't think the Borg Queen is going to be the main villain either, and it's kind of, you don't need a bunch of villains. It'd be more interesting if the villains were like, just a time anomaly or something like that. Yeah. Well, that, I guess, reminds me a little more of a classic story concept, or like something that isn't just based on like, oh, this bad guy is going to, throughout a whole season arc, it's all about this bad guy or this force that's trying to attack or conquer something. If you just have something you're dealing with the whole season, but yet it revolves, like, kind of also having interactions with these classic characters, and like you said, maybe they're not the bad guys, but maybe they bring up things that could be threatening, like it's not like, hey, I'm trying to destroy you, Picard. It's more like what the Q did when he was like questioning humanity, or like bringing into question Picard's life or something like that. So maybe he'll be looking at some greater philosophy that he'll bring in and say, let's
I want to challenge you on this. I kind of hope it's not I kind of hope it's not related to aging. I just feel like that'd be the obvious direction where they would go. I mean, maybe.
Well, they did that Star Trek Generations movie that for some reason was entirely about old guys aging. They've already done that.
Yeah, I find it like often television films will do this because they kind of feel like they have to be in on the joke, because if they pretend someone isn't older, then the audience goes, what do they think, they're still young? And like Indiana Jones is a good example, when they did the one with the Indiana Jones 4 where they kind of had to poke fun at, he would have to say like, this was a lot easier when I was younger and all those things, which probably somebody would say in reality if they got older, but focusing on it too much then becomes like almost sad.
Yeah, I don't think I kind of don't think they'll address it that much. I think maybe the in-universe explanation for Q looking older is just that he wanted to age along with Picard as the version that he sees with Picard.
Yeah, some people like feel like
won't even need to explain it.
Right, like people would often with Data, and even in last season, he looks so much older, the makeup doesn't look right. And for me, I was always like, why don't they just show an older Data, and Data just says he's always wanted to be human. Wouldn't he want to also try to participate in aging? Like maybe he just was like, I'm running this new synthetic thing on me that makes me age.
In the All Good Things 25-year forward cut, his hair was sort of going gray, like, and that was kind of the reason. That program.
Yeah, and I that to me makes sense. He always wanted to be human. Why not? So the Q could be like, this was my way of feeling.
And Brent Spiner is going to be in this season too. I saw a quick clip of him in the trailer.
Oh, good. Yeah, I love Brent Spiner.
So I guess that because his character's still back on the android planet.
Right. So that character,
I think,
which was like Data's.
Well, Dr. Soong's biological son.
What was his name? I forget his name.
Something Soong now.
Yeah, something Soong. Okay, well, anyway, whoa, there they go. Maybe that's a sign. So I put this hat on because I wanted to wear this hat that I like, but I realized very quickly, look, it doesn't really work very well. So I have to put the earphones like this. We're gonna have to figure this out, Tim. I might need some Velcro or like a strap. Just like a
duct tape.
Yeah, I'll just duct tape it in my head. That'll be fine.
I'll just knock mine off too.
Let's take note real quick before we finish off of this awesome hat that Tim's wearing here. So Tim has started making these custom Star Trek hats.
Can't really see it very well.
I can see it.
We'll focus on it and maybe have an episode about it or something.
Yeah, sure. Maybe you do one live. You're like Bob Ross.
Well, I'll have a close-up.
Oh, yeah, you will have... Well, let's just... So we can prove that. We do have this close-up. Just now imagine Tim's hat.
Imagine it's a different close-up.
Yeah.
And then that's what we'll have. We have
which
3
camera
cameras.
Is this camera or this? No, it's this camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll figure that out. We'll have them all set up. We should have a camera that points that way so we can be like, look where... Like, because people don't know the room we're in. So it's kind of cool because we have this new space that we're going to be in doing this podcast. And pretty stoked on that. Because we can just leave everything set up. Mac, where are you from? I can't remember. Was he in Australia or something? You got to fly to Canada, and we're going to put you on the podcast. I'm sure Tim and I can cover half the cost of the flight. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next Thursday?
This Thursday, right? 2 days?
Holy smokes.
There's going to be... Because I think there's 2 more episodes of Discovery and Picard starting this week.
Okay, we'll have to figure that out because I don't know if I can do this Thursday. But if we don't do this Thursday, we'll start into the cycle next Thursday of every Thursday. And if we don't do this Thursday, maybe we can do like Saturday or Sunday just to review it. Because I just have...
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Something.
Wait, let's do a close-up of them. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't be the one that controls this. We'll have to have someone that we like bring in. So.
No, I'm psyched.
Me too. And thanks for tuning in. If you did, I noticed we have some subscribers now. I don't know how many we had when we finished before.
I don't remember. Again, we're back from literally 2 years.
I don't even know how to do that.
We haven't really done
34 subscribers, it says. So thanks for subscribing if you're one of those 34. If you're just tuning into the channel and you see that we're going to be doing a bunch of Star Trek content, maybe some other stuff. I don't know why I'm looking. It's not my close-up cam. This is the one I should be looking at. If you want to do that and subscribe, please do. Please subscribe. Like stuff, comment, chat with us. Tell me what you think of my hat. Tim's hat's cooler for various reasons because it's just like it's customized. Mine's just got feathers. Oh, we got to do one more. Feathers. I don't know what kind of animal that came from. I assume some sort of tortoise. Okay.
A feathered tortoise.
What did we used to say something when we were done?
Yeah, we had a bunch of catchphrases, but I forget them now.
Yeah, it was like...
It was a play on...
And I hope
Picard.
we kept you engaged.
Yeah, that was what we used to say. We keep you engaged. And then,
That's
and
so
then we
cheesy.
finish with our...
That's so cheesy.
That is cheesy. And then we finish with our cups.
Okay, well, let's pretend. So...
Well, the cups are right here.
Okay, pass me one. But there's nothing in them.
Yeah,
That's fine. No, Pat.
That is something of a
It's
cop
worth
out.
it. It's worth it. Okay. We will start using these again.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was test episode 1 of the Picard Maneuver 2022.
Yeah, we talked for 25 minutes about...
It's just
nothing,
too easy
right?
to talk. Yeah, we
Yeah,
did talk about nothing. But thanks for tuning in. And as always, I hope we kept you...
Engaged.
Do we cheers? I can't remember if we used to cheers.
I don't think we cheers.
No. That's not...
That
that's
seems
not very,
wrong with these
Yeah,
guys.
it's not very Star Trek-y to cheers. I don't think...
Scold!
Skull. Skull?
Skulls?
Skull, yeah. We'll do that.
Yeah, when we're Vikings.
Well, I want to do a review show of Viking, Valhalla.
Yeah, that's the other show we were talking about. I'm psyched about that.
Are we already off the air?
No, I haven't stopped anything, so let's go to...
So I'll keep pretending I like you?
We had an outro, but I don't have it set up yet.
Skull.
Okay.
I'll do the song.
Adventure Ray Hot.
That's the song, right?